Did you know that even the best CCTV system can fail if it's not set up correctly? Whether you're protecting your home or your business, there are 5 common mistakes that people make when setting up their CCTV systems. And today, I'm going to show you how to avoid them. Stick around, because fixing these mistakes can be the difference between catching an intruder and missing critical evidence. Mistake number 1, poor camera placement. This is the most common mistake. Most people either mount their cameras way too high or way too low. Cameras placed high up might give you a wide view, but they can miss critical details like faces or license plates. On the other hand, if they're too low, they can easily be tampered with or obscured. Sometimes people use a little spray paint gun and they'll spray the camera. So where's the sweet spot? Ideally, you want your cameras mounted between 4 to 5 meters high and angled slightly downward. This gives you a good field of view while still capturing important details. If you do have a camera that's placed high up, they're often placed on soffits in the UK. It's ideal if you can have another camera that is lower down for more facial recognition. So if you don't get everything with one, a mixture of both can be ideal. However, it's more costly because you're using 2 cameras instead of 1. Mistake number 2, choosing the wrong camera type. Not all cameras are created equal, and I see people buying indoor cameras and put them outside, and outdoor cameras and use them inside, or low resolution cameras thinking that they're saving money, which they are, but in this world, come on. You get what you pay for. Spoiler alert, a cheap, low quality camera will cost you more in the long run when it fails to capture usable footage. For outdoor areas, choose weatherproof cameras with at least 1080p resolution, and make sure you have infrared built into the camera for nighttime. Indoors, you can go for smaller, more discreet models, but still make sure that they keep up with your resolution requirements. Mistake number 3, ignoring lighting conditions. Lighting's everything when it comes to security cameras. Too much sunlight can create glare, while complete darkness can, of course, leave your footage useless. Solution to this? When setting up your cameras, test how lighting affects the view at different times of day. Consider cameras with WDR, which stands for wide dynamic range, with areas for harsh lighting, and ensure you have infrared or external lighting for nighttime coverage. Newer cameras have what's called night fighter capabilities, which is where they have a light inbuilt into the camera, and when the camera sees motion, it will turn that light on and it will give you a color image. Quick tip, some of the earlier versions of these cameras had the light on all night, and on the face of it that sounds okay, but trust me when I tell you, the amount of insect infestation is unbelievable, and it actually ends up rendering your camera useless. So if you do have a camera with a built-in light to give you a color view, make sure it only comes on when it sees motion in that area. For that, you'll need the new AI style cameras. They are pricey, but they do work very well, and I find them very reliable. But you will still get false positives, meaning the odd time the light might come on and there isn't actually a person or a vehicle in the field of view. It's never going to be 100%, or at least not in the near future. Mistake number 4, weak cybersecurity measures. This is a common problem because of the new style of IP cameras, and it's quite a scary one. Many CCTV systems get hacked because users don't change their default username and password. This is like leaving your front door wide open for hackers. The solution is quite simple. Always change the default credentials on your CCTV system. Use strong passwords that have letters, numbers, special characters, and if you can enable 2-factor authentication, do that too. Also, this is very important, with the newer IP systems, every individual camera has a username and password. They usually come by default as admin. Okay, you need to change the password for each individual camera on your system. If you're not sure about this, ask your installer and make sure every single camera is not set to default. Otherwise, even if people don't have your username and password to enter your system, they can just bypass that and get straight through to the camera. Don't forget to keep your firmware updated to patch any vulnerabilities in the system. Mistake number 5, neglecting maintenance. Look, you've got your cameras set up, they're working great until they're not. Neglecting maintenance can render your entire system useless when you need it most. Dust, spiderwebs, and outdated software are your worst enemies here. So make sure you schedule regular maintenance checks. Clean your cameras every few months, ensure the firmware is up to date, and test the system to make sure everything is running smoothly. When I say test your system, I mean go into the menus and go on your playback, whether you do this through an app or do it through the main unit, to make sure it's recording correctly, to make sure it's recording at night time correctly, and to make sure things like your time and date setup are correct. A little upkeep goes a long way in this scenario. Pro tip, and I do this all the time when maintaining CCTV systems for customers, when I get up to the cameras and give them a good clean to clear them of any spider webs, I apply spider spray around the camera. This works great, spiders hate it, and it keeps them at bay for a long time and stops them making those dreaded spider webs right over the lens. You can get this on eBay, Amazon, bit of spider spray, and you're golden. So there you have it, the 5 most common CCTV mistakes and how to avoid them. To recap, check your camera placement, choose the right cameras, account for lighting, secure your system, and don't overlook regular maintenance and testing. By fixing these mistakes, you'll make sure your CCTV system is working when you need it most. Have you made any of these mistakes? Or maybe there's a tip that I've missed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. It's a small channel and I'm hoping to grow it. And I'll continue to give you more tips on securing your home or business.